So many people I've come across, I want it, I want it, I want it. I'm like, well, here's how to get it. Here's how to get it. Here's how to get it. Well, I don't know if I want it that badly. I'm like, I know, I know, I know. Everything. You have to earn everything. Like, you can't tell me one thing that you deserve. You don't deserve love. You don't deserve nothing, nothing, nothing. You have to work for it. You want people to bend their standards so that you can have an opportunity. And I'm like, no, you have to create your opportunity. All I want to see is your body of work. And if your body of work is applying for 1,000 jobs and nothing tangible, if I ask you about Agile, you can't answer it. If I ask you about Docker, you're like, yeah, I don't know what Docker is. Like, if you have so much time to apply for jobs, why can't you take half that time and learn about Docker, learn about Git, learn about automation, learn about something? Welcome to another episode of Candid Conversations, hosted by yours truly, Tech Coach Ralph, where we are engineer twin. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking to you about why I am giving up. Giving up on what? Well, so when I first got on like YouTube and trying to coach, like offering the coaching services and things like that, I would reach out to people. I would see like, in different areas that I'd be in, either whether it be a Discord, a Slack channel, things like that, a Slack group. And I would see different people coming in saying, oh, I'm interested in like finding a job in this field and that field. And I would, reach out to them, say, hey, I can review your resume for you. I can, one, it was kind of for selfish reasons, I must say, because I wanted to build some experience doing that as well. I've been looking at resumes for a very, very long time, but I wanted to like see some different resumes, interact with some different people. But here's the reason that I'm pulling back away from that, because what I've noticed is once people finish what they perceive is the route to get into whatever career field that is, whether it's QA, software engineering, whatever, they might go to take some course. Maybe it's a Coursera, maybe it's Udemy, maybe it's a boot camp, whatever the case may be. And once that's done, it's over. Like no more effort. The only effort that they put in is how many applications can I put in per day? And I would always ask, like, okay, well, what else are you doing? Like there might be some people who there's some that I remember. They did a program for UI UX. And I was looking back. I was going back down memory lane. And I said, all right, let me check on some of the people that I spoke to in the past that, I even offered them some like consultations. Never took me up on it. Cool. Hey, more time for me to do what I do, right? But I looked to see like, where are they at now? How is their LinkedIn profile structured? Did they ever end up getting a job? And the last thing it has was whatever they did in their program. And I'm like, how are we so stagnant? How come we're not like, did we really want something? For me, when I want something, there is absolutely nothing that's going to stop me from attaining it. I remember when I was preparing for competition, for jiu-jitsu competition, and learning Python, learning web development, I would pair them so that I would have a reason to get up early, do those things, so then I can like be able to split my focus on the competition and on learning this course. And it helped me do that in parallel. But I'll see people that like, they spend an extraordinate amount of money, right? And then they do nothing with what they've learned. They don't really offer any freelancing service. They don't go and find things to create. I've given people ideas like, hey, so now that you've gotten this education, whether it's QA, UI, UX, software engineering, why don't you think of something that you can build instead of just building exactly what they had you build in your program? Come up with something that's creative to you. Put it out there in the public, or find someone who needs UI, UX services and say, hey, can I come on board and help you build this, things like that? Let me offer it so I can build experience. So I can work in the foundation. Right. But when I come back, they're still in the same spot that they were before. And I'm like, okay, what are we doing? Like you say you want something, but nothing. Like there's no movement, no traction, nothing's happening. I'm like, okay, are we serious about the things that we're saying? And guess what? A lot of times, the same people that I see liking things on LinkedIn, I always go back to LinkedIn because that is supposed to be the professional platform. Keyword on supposed to be. But I'll see the things that they're liking, and it's always like, I'm a victim, I'm a victim, I'm a victim. Either they're blaming the program that they took, they're blaming companies, they're blaming recruiters, but they never blame their education. They never blame the choices that they made. It's like, woe is me, woe is me, woe is me. Do we really want the things that we say we want? You want to get into tech, but they sold you on the dream that tech is so easy, so like you can get 5 jobs in tech, making so much money, five jobs at the same time. And I'm always like, you could barely like you haven't even done it for one job. And you listen to these videos, these content creators, it's like, oh yeah, I got to the bag, I got to the bag, I got to the bag. And I'm like, oh well, now you try to replicate it. You try so now you go down their path. They're advertising, oh, go sign up for this course, go sign up for that course, go sign up for my boot camp, this and that, this and that. And you'll be able to replicate the same success that I replicated. And now you go pay that money, and they tell you, hey, you gotta apply for 3,500 jobs in a year. And people, they get to like 600, 700 in about 2 months, 3 months, and they're like, I think I'm gonna quit. And now you can't get no refund. You have very basic knowledge on whatever you studied. You don't apply it to anything. You don't get a like the only mentor, the only mentor that you have is the one that they assign to you, and that they never worked in the field in the first place. How does that make sense? They sold you on a dream that you're gonna make all this money. I remember somebody I spoke to, they said, you know what? The only offer that I got was less than I was making for my previous career. And to be fair, that coming into a new field as an entry level, it makes sense that if you are at a higher spot in your career and and you're going to be offered a little bit less to come in entry level, it makes sense. But the problem is, you believe the dream that was sold to you. And whose fault is it that you believe the dream that was sold to you? It's your fault because you didn't do adequate research. You should have. You should have. It's amazing to me. Whatever it is that we want, right? We will do so much research on it. Maybe it's a car, maybe it's some type of clothing, apparel, things like that. But when it comes to spending thousands and thousands on education, maybe because we can just finance it, we don't do our due diligence, and then now we end up in this trap, owing a bunch of money, and then we start blaming everybody else instead of looking in the mirror. So when going back to the reason that I'm quitting, when I see people that I would, spend my time, my precious time, the thing that I value the most, I'll spend my precious time trying to give some insight on, hey, how can you get into the tech industry? Like, you send me your resume and the resume is absolutely atrocious, terrible. And I'm like, well, you're gonna have to make some modifications, you're gonna have to make some changes. Okay, so are you willing to work hybrid or on site? Absolutely not. Nope, not happening. Not me. I'm like, you're brand new to the field. Yes, they told you that they told you that you can get a remote job, you can work on the beach, all that good stuff during the time that there was pandemic money. Now the pandemic money has run out, but they're still selling you on that dream and to jobs that quite frankly don't exist. Now, when the company says up the ante, they say, all right, you know what? Entry level now is at least 3 years of experience. You're like, how am I supposed to get experience? How am I supposed to get experience? Well, that's a dilemma you put yourself in. Oh, the companies, they're so mean. They're not giving us a chance. They're not giving us a chance. Well, guess what? Guess what? We are in it to make money. And I always put myself, all right, if I am in the position to, I'm paying for GitHub accounts, I'm paying for CI/CD tools, I'm paying for Jira licenses, I'm paying salaries. Am I in the position to just give somebody a chance? It is hard. It's expensive enough for me to coach people, let alone for a company to who's actually trying to be profitable in the tools that they're building, to bring somebody on board who is not qualified for the position. But guess what? Here's the thing: there are ways to get qualified. There are ways to get qualified, but it takes work. It takes more than just just what do they call it? Doom scrolling. It takes more than doom applying. And when I think back to, like, so many people that I offered some insight from, somebody who's been in the tech industry for the past 20 years, been in a QA engineer for the past 15. Like, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to build some experience. You need to offer, like, find someone that you can offer to work on their application for, where that you can build that experience that you need, because you don't have any experience. That's your main problem. So, well, your first problem is the companies are asking for some type of education that is probably maybe a 2-year degree, a 4-year degree, but you're saying, hey, no, I got this 6-week certificate. I got this 2 months, this 8 week certificate. Will you take it? The boot camp that I paid $20,000 for, which you could have got a degree for that amount of money, but you didn't want to wait. Now you're saying, hey, I know you're asking for this level of education, but forget that. I have this. Now, you have to. You have to give me a chance. And you better not ghost me either. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you ghost me? That's the interaction that you're having. And then when you're like, I was talking about this on the live stream the other day. When you are like, you're like, social media is, it could be your greatest asset, but normally it's your biggest enemy. Because I see, like I said, I'm not a recruiter, but if I was a recruiter, and if I was in charge of, like, hiring people and things like that, I would go check for their social media profiles, especially their LinkedIn. Because from the LinkedIn, maybe like your Facebook or your Twitter or whatever, your X, your Instagram, it might not be 100% accurate of how you're going to be on the job, but to see how you interact with professional people, I would want to check it. If you're liking and commenting and sharing people who are trashing the people you want to give you a chance, then I'm like, I don't think so. Let me see if I can find somebody who is actually doing more work to prepare themselves. Is there somebody who just finished a program, who is, learning how to work with Jira, learning how to work with GitHub, learning how to work with Git commands, Git branching, learning about Agile and Scrum and Kanban, who are applying themselves, who's actually talking about productivity instead of negativity? If I was a recruiter, that's what I would be looking for. Now, when the recruiter says, "Oh, I'm sorry, you're just not a good fit," that can be, a variety of things. It means they found out that you were, like, annoying and a jerk. Could mean that you didn't have enough experience. Could mean they found somebody who had more experience. Who knows? See, but now when you have all these tech layouts happening, when your timeline was maybe about 2 years ago to get into an industry, but you waited and now you're trying to get in, and now these layoffs are happening. And now we have software engineers coming from Tesla, from Google, from Microsoft, from Amazon, who are in the market. You have QA engineers, you have cybersecurity people, cloud people, DevOps people. And now you're like, well, I need a chance. I need a chance. And they're like, well, am I gonna go with the person who needs a chance, or am I gonna go to with the seasoned Google engineer? And I keep telling you, hey, build something, build something, build something. Jump on a team to build something. Jump on, like, put something out there for the world to see that they can criticize, they can critique. I'm at the brink of pushing the time cost calculator to the app stores. It's already right now in the Google store. I'm working on getting it in the app in the iOS store, in the Apple store, and putting it out there. And you know, give me feedback. Love it, hate it. How can I make it better? But I every almost every single day here on this channel, we put out more and more work. That's my portfolio. Now, do you have to create a portfolio the same way? No. But having something that you can share that's actually adding value to the world. I always tell you guys over and over and over. Your complaining adds absolutely zero, 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 zero value to the world. I always say I am allergic to complaining. So you're complaining, your victim mentality brings nothing. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to work with this person. Like even for coaching, like if you're gonna, like, I told one of my coaching people the other day, like, hey, if you're gonna come here complaining, you can go. Like, because I don't want to hear your complaints. I want you to work here, here on this channel, the tech barbarians, the tech mercenaries. If you work with me, you are going to work. I'm going to make sure. Like, I can't. I see. And here's part of the problem: the places that you go to. Oh, how to like, we'll definitely get you a job. You're gonna have all the information you need, and then you come to me and you know absolutely nothing. And I'm like, this is trash, right? Your education is trash, but we can fix that. We can fix that. But then, see, you don't want to work. You just want to sit on these Zoom calls and stuff like that, and people are just kumbayaing and stuff like that. I'm like, no, get out of my face. Go to work. Come back when you have this done, and then we're going to talk about it. We're going to review it. I'm going to critique it, and I'm going to say, all right, now we're looking good. But I'm not going to praise you if you're not doing no work. See, because you're paying these people tens of thousands of dollars to make you feel good, and I'm like, I'm not like, I honestly don't like. I don't care if you feel good or not. But here's the funny thing, right? Here's the funny thing. The same person who I was like, man, get out of my face if you're going to be complaining over here, right? Then I said, this is what you need to do within a week, and they got it done. And I'm like, how do you feel? And they feel great. No complaining, no arguing, just work. Getting the skills that you need to be where you say you want to be. Now, if you say I am perfectly happy where I'm at, then I'm like, more power to you. I salute you. I commend you. But if you're going to be complaining, I'm like, you know what? Stop the complaining. Show me the work. Show me and that's what I titled the live stream the other night. Show me the work. All I want to see is your body of work. And if your body of work is applying for 1,000 jobs and nothing tangible, if I ask you about Agile, you can't answer it. If I ask you about Docker, you're like, yeah, I don't know what Docker is. Like, if you have so much time to apply for jobs, why can't you take half that time and learn about Docker, learn about automation, learn about something, like, or learn about, like, build some type of website, some web application. What is something that bothers you? That something that could make your life easier? Because usually the things that could make your life easier is going to make other people's life easier as well. I said, like, just build it. Start building. Put something out there. Say, hey, I'm building this. And guess what? It might cost you a little bit, because I say put it out to the world, and you're gonna have to have some hosting. But the fact that you have something that you can show. My guy, Calculus Coder, he did it. He built the freemindrecovery.com app. And you saw us do automation on it a few times. And guess what? Guess what? And I told him, I can share this with you because I told it to him. I'm like, look, like, you need to improve on some things in your code. Like, you need to make it testable, like, so that it can be automated and stuff like that. But the fact that he actually put something out there, there's something that I can see. I'm like, okay, cool. I rock with you because you're doing something valuable. You're trying to learn, and you made something that people can use that's adding value using AI and stuff like that, using Node and MERN stack. But by putting something out there, you can like able to also provide valuable insight on how you can get better. But if you guys are just sitting around saying, "Oh, I deserve this," I deserve. Saw a video today. This lady saying, "We deserve to have to own a home." I'm like, "No, you don't deserve anything. Nobody deserves anything, any zero, nothing. You don't deserve anything. You have to go out there and get it. You have to earn every single thing. You have to earn it. Everything. You have to earn everything. Like you can't tell me one thing that you deserve. You don't deserve love. You don't deserve nothing, nothing, nothing. You have to work for it. You have to work for it. You have to earn it. And all the time that you just keep complaining, keep complaining, keep complaining, you're not earning anything. You are wasting time. And that's why I say that, I'm giving up. I'm not reaching out to people anymore. I've been I've been I've been connecting with some like-minded individuals and people want who want to put in the work. And I'm like, "Cool, let's do it. Let's do it." But if you think that you're just gonna pay a bunch of money, that you're gonna pay a ransom, then you're falling for the scam. You are falling for the scam. And I don't feel sorry for you. You want you want people to bend their standards so that you can have an opportunity. And I'm like, "No, you have to create your opportunity. Nobody owes you anything, anything at all. You have to go out there and get it. You have to grind." See, what you should have been doing in your teens, early 20s, you're doing it now and you're competing with those who are much younger, much more energy. I mean, the generation now is a little different, so you still have a chance. But you're also I don't want like if if you work with me and you are not where you want to be, you shouldn't let me work harder than you. You should not let me work harder than you because then I don't believe you. And when I don't believe you, I'm like, I don't take you seriously. So many people I've come across, I want it, I want it, I want it. I'm like, well, here's how to get it. Here's how to get it. Here's how to get it. Well, I don't know if I want it that badly. I'm like, I know, I know, I know. What you really want is that more money without the effort for it. And I'm like, nobody's nobody's gonna give it to you. Nope. And that's why, like me, for when I tell you that we're not friends, I mean it. People leave, people come, people go, and I'm like, I keep it up. I am focused. I'm focused. How did Jay say it? I'm focused, man. But I want you to be focused as well. And if you are focused, we're gonna be the best of friends. But if you're not focused and you're scatterbrained, you're like looking here, looking there, trying like just looking for a way to come up without having to put in the work. I'm like, we're not gonna get along. I said the other day, I saw one of my coaching members send him some feedback for a resume. 4 in the morning, they're updating it. Every single thing I gave him to do, every single thing I gave him to do, they do it. And I'm like, wow, that's impressive. But guess what? Here's a funny story. Here's a funny story. The way this person that probably one of my best coaching students to this day, also one of my most recent ones too. The way that they found me was on Manek. If you're not familiar, Manek, a minute to connect. They found me on there, and they paid to ask me a question. They actually paid to ask me a question on my neck, and since then, they they work their butt off. They work their butt off, and I'm impressed. I am totally impressed. Learning technologies that they had absolutely no idea about. Having a decent QA mindset because that was like the boot camp that they took, but at a very, very rudimentary level. But coming on board with me, I'm like, all right, so we're gonna have to learn Docker. We're gonna because for you to be effective in the market today for QA, Docker, GitHub, Jira, Agile, and they're like check, 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 check. Automation, Python, check. All within a little bit over a month from coming in totally lost, no idea what's going on. Now I don't even have to like. I just say this needs to be done. Boom, 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 boom. And when I see that, I'm like, you know what? Now I'm going to do everything in my power to help you find a position. And guess what? Yeah, but even better, right? Because now when I come across projects, come across ideas, come across whatever it might be, I already have some. Oh, boom, you're on the team. Because if I'm gonna win, then you're gonna win with me. So I'm gonna put you go going through the Navy SEALs. They call it buds. The David Goggins talks about it all the time. Hell Week. And I'm going to like you are going to if you want to talk about boot camp, right? You are going to go into like tech, and you're gonna have to ramp up, catch up because you say you want a job tomorrow. Then you're going to have to learn this stuff yesterday. Because these companies, they're not in the business to give chances. They're in the business to make money. Especially when you have some people trying to charge them like 40% in taxes, and then you want them to waste their money on you? You guys are crazy. Absolutely insane. And that's why I go back to I'm not reaching out to people anymore. Those who want to win, they're going to find the winners. And those who want to complain, they're going to find the scammers. I read a post the other day on the live stream. At the end, I have to check. Oh, companies need this, that. But come over and like my page so that you can join the best job network in the world. I'm like, get the out of here. Probably never put nobody in a job before, but they're running up the numbers though. They got all the likes, they got all the followers, all that stuff, right? I'm like, man, the people who tell you to work, the people who say, all right, this is the strategy, this is the formula, you guys neglect them because you don't want to do the work. I'm like, cool. Because tech mercenaries, tech barbarians, bag chasers, we're coming for it all. We are coming for it all. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Right? Anyways, those are my thoughts this week. Our candid conversations. Like I said, I quit. I'm giving up. Not doing it anymore. You want to work with me? You're gonna have to come find me. And you know where to find me. My chats are always open. You can connect me. I'm still thinking about getting rid of that consultation calendar. If you're not part of the crew, if you're not sending me a message in the Patreon, if you're not sending me a message on Manek, if you're not in one of my discords that I prefer, then we got nothing to talk about, partner. We got nothing to talk about, boss. Just saying. I'm just saying. Anyways. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Tough conversation, but it is a candid conversation, as always. If you haven't done so already, do me a big favor. Go ahead and like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. hit the notification bell so you can know every single time that we go live or drop new content. And if you are in need to level up, if you want to get your skills right, if you need one-on-one coaching, go over to www.techcoachralph.dev, where you can sign up for exclusive content as well as one-on-one coaching. One-on-one coaching that you need. You need it. Because those mentors who never work in the field, they ain't doing nothing for you. They're not doing nothing for you. And spots are limited. Once they're gone, they're gone. All right. So that being said, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys have an amazing week. Let's get our act together. Let's put in some work. Do me a favor. Show your work. All right. We're out. Out.
If you enjoyed the fascinating information shared in this video and you want more, be sure to hit the subscribe button to Tech Coach Ralph to be notified for new videos.